Hi everyone, Michelle Morgan here, and welcome back to the Mind Right Game Tie series. And we have done interviews, and this time I'm going to do a little bit of conversation. So topics that come up with student athletes, and I just want to share my experience. And then also, like in the comments, please let me know how you feel about any of these topics. So go ahead and subscribe, like, and share this conversation as well. And today we're going to be talking about disappointment. So recently I was talking to a group of student athletes, and one of the topics that came up is disappointing a parent. So a lot of the times we're going through sports, and sometimes it's just something that we've done from a young age, and our parents are really excited for us as we go along the journey as well. And as I was having this conversation with one of the student athletes, she talked about not wanting to disappoint one of her parents. And so with that being said, I asked her, has your parent told you that they would be disappointed of you if you're not great at the sport that you play, and also if you stop playing this sport? And their response was no. So a lot of the time, sometimes we're creating these stories in our head that aren't even true. We haven't even done the work to get the communication out to the other person to make sure that what we're creating in our head and what we're thinking and believing is even true. So the first step, I asked her is like, hey, does your parent tell you this? No, my parent hasn't said this to me. And I also invited her to ask her parent about that conversation and ask them if they'd be disappointed if they no longer played that particular sport anymore. And so even though I kind of got the feeling they're not going to go ahead and ask their parent, because that could be intimidating at times too. Like we have this thought in our head, and it's like, well, I don't really want to go ask my parent if they're going to be disappointed, because I still feel like I know the answer to it. So with that being said, I asked her to write it down. Go ahead and journal. How are you feeling about playing this particular sport at this time? Because that is very important to express our feelings. A lot of the times we're keeping the feelings inside of us and we're not expressing it, so it just kind of keeps getting jumbled into our head with more feelings and more emotions, and we're not letting it out. So that form of expression is so very important. So even if we're not ready to have that conversation with the parent, maybe we can go ahead and start journaling and really describing what that feels like. Do I really want to keep playing this sport? Or maybe because if I don't, am I just doing it just to make my parent happy? And also, we know with sports, it's a time investment. Also, there's a financial investment too as well, not only for you, but for your parents, right? So it's getting on that same page, because if there's something else that you're interested in, maybe we can move that time and that financial investment into something else that you may be interested in, because sometimes that does happen. Sometimes we grow up liking something, and then as we get older, it's not something that we like anymore and our interests change. It's totally normal, and it's something that happens all the time in life, not just in sports, but different areas of our life as well. So that pen to paper is always very important to express, and it's allowing time for you to express that as well. So, hey, I got a lot of things going on. I have homework. I got to practice. All these different things are happening. But carve out some time for yourself, whether if it's once a week or twice a week, to allow yourself to write and share what's on your mind, because it'll help you. You may get emotional, and it's just great to actually vent those things out. And maybe over time, as you continue to vent it out through paper, through your writing it, then maybe you'll build that confidence to see hey, I'm consistently having these feelings and these thoughts. Maybe it's time for me to go get confirmation as well from my parent and talk to them about how I feel, because it's very important that we have those lines of communication open as well. And I understand that sometimes we feel like I don't even feel confident doing that. But for you, the most important thing would be to start getting that pen to paper, and then also looking to see who's in your circle of support, people that you can trust and talk to. And even if it's not being able to, talk to the parent directly at that time, maybe there's other people that can kind of help guide you through this process as well. So please let me know down in the comments if you've ever felt like you were scared to disappoint your parent because maybe you didn't want to keep playing the sport that you were consistently playing, and you didn't want to hurt their feelings, and you thought things maybe would change if that did happen. But also, going back to it, this is also a great experience for you to honor your truth and what lies within you, because as you continue to get older, we're also going to experience things where hey, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I don't want to be in this friendship. Maybe I don't want to be in this job. Maybe I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And we're going to start to honor that truth now. So we're already building a belief in ourselves, which is a habit of that confidence that, hey, when it's time for me to feel ready, I feel confident enough to know that I'm ready to walk away, and I trust in this feeling that is within inside of me, rather than staying in something just to please someone else. Because I've been a people pleaser before, so that is also like another subject that we can go into as well, where it's very layered. And this is why I created the Mind Right Game Type program, is so that we can have these topics of conversation, because it doesn't just stop with like, I don't want to disappoint my parent, because what we can later lead on to is like, I don't want to disappoint my boss or my coworkers, or I don't want to disappoint my friends. Maybe they all said they're really excited to go somewhere and I just don't want to go at that time. And so we're like, we don't want to be that person who says, I don't want to go in the friends group, because then I feel like I'm disappointing other people, but actually at that time I'm doing what's best for me. And that is very important. And I have a story to share too in regards to that, because one of the first times that I found that it was important for me to say no, because I was always like, okay, if I said I'm going to go to something, a friend's event, then I need to make sure that I'm going to be there. Even if I feel like, oh, I kind of don't feel like going, I don't feel like driving, whatever it may be. If I said I was going to go, I'm going to go. And then there was this one time that I felt like, I just want to stay home. I don't want to drive. I don't want to go out. I just want to be home and rest and relax tonight. And so with that, I found that confidence in saying, I'm going to start living and saying yes to myself. And when I did that, I text my friend, hey, I'm not going to make it tonight. And I said, have a great time tonight, and I'll catch up with you later. I didn't need to give an excuse or a reason. It was just, hey, have a great time, and I'm not available to make it tonight, which I wasn't available because my availability was going to be somewhere else. And so with that being said, she responded back, hey, I'm going to miss you. But yeah, let's catch up in another time. And we still remain friends. She still invites me to things. Like, it wasn't like the world crumbled and ended, but I understand that initial feeling where, hey, is something going to change here? And so it was very important for me to do that for myself. And then I learned just to continue to do that. And I also learned that I don't have to give a reason, because how I feel and living in my truth and what's best for me at that time, for me, it's important, and I'm not going to make it to the event. So to me, it doesn't matter if you think the reason's good or bad. It's my reason, and that's what matters. So I'm just piggybacking off of that. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions or comments, and maybe we can make those questions or comments that you may have. We can do a video on that as well, because I want to get interactive with you. And yeah, so treasure yourself and shine, and have a great day.